Okay, what we're looking for is right off of Route 4 here. Once we see the York County Jail, we're getting close. It's the memorial to a murder.
All right. Oh, I think I see a jail sign coming up on the right.
Yep, that's it. Okay, we're close. Keep looking on the side of the road.
All right. There's a one-story commercial building coming up next. I see some houses, a lot of woods on the other side of Route 4.
Oh, shoot. I think we just passed it. Hold on. Let me turn around. Okay, we'll pull off a Sweatsbridge Road and park the car.
All right, I still don't see anything, Jeff. There's a memorial to a murder around here?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Okay, wait. I see a small rock over there by the intersection. Almost looks like a short headstone. It's pretty easy to miss, though.
Hey, but I think that's it. I think that's what we're looking for.
Nice.
It was right here that a local Alfred, Maine man shot and killed America's first elephant. An elephant they called Old Bet. I'm Jeff Belanger, and welcome to episode 189 of the New England Legends podcast. If you give us about 10 minutes, we'll give you something strange to talk about today.
And I'm Ray Auger. Alfred, Maine is the next stop on our mission to chronicle every legend in New England, one story at a time. So many of our stories come from you legendary listeners. We love it when you reach out to us through social media, through our website, our free smartphone app, our super secret Facebook group, or when you call or text our legend line anytime at 617-444-9683.
Please also be sure to subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts. It helps others find us.
Before we explore this elephant murder in Maine, we'd like to take a minute to tell you about our sponsor, Nuwadi Herbals.
Ray, it's spring again.
It is. The weather's warming up. It's great to be spending more time outside.
Couldn't agree more, especially after this long quarantine winter. But warmer weather also means something else. Mosquitoes.
Oh, so true.
Our friends at Nuwadi Herbals have something we're going to need in this warmer weather. They call it No-Skeeto Natural Insect Repellent. Made with all natural ingredients, you can feel good that you're not putting harsh chemicals on your skin or on the skin of your children. You can even use No-Skeeto Natural Insect Repellent on your dog to keep those pesky bugs away from our four-legged friends.
Now, you've heard us telling you all about Nuwadi Herbals all-natural teas. I've been enjoying their Wind Dancer tea lately for a little extra energy throughout my day. But they also have a whole line of balms, oils, soaps, and other products you should check out. These are herbal remedies from Mother Earth.
Check out the Nuwadi Herbals website to see all their great products, and you legendary listeners get 20% off your order when you use the promo code LEGENDS20 at checkout. Visit nuwadiherbals.com. That's Nuwati Herbals with an S.com.
All right, Jeff, I've heard of elephant graves before, but they don't look like this.
Right.
We're standing on a lawn right at the intersection of Sweatsbridge Road and Route 4. This stone marker is maybe knee-high right by the telephone pole. No wonder we drove by it the first time.
Okay, go ahead and give this a read, Ray.
All right, it says, July 24th, 1816, site of slaying of elephant exhibited by Hecaliah Bailey and George Brown Company of Somers, New York.
To figure out how the elephant got here and why it was gunned down in cold blood, let's head back to 1804 and set this up.
It's the summer of 1804, and a ship has just pulled into the docks at Boston Harbor. As they're unloading the cargo, suddenly a giant beast comes lumbering onto the deck. A creature no one in Boston has ever seen before. This thing is huge. She's gray in color, has big floppy ears, and she's walking off the ship.
It's an elephant. They say it's the first one ever to stand on American soil. As you can imagine, it's drawing a crowd.
This elephant is from some foreign land, obviously, but no one is really sure which land she's from.
We know elephants are mammals. They're the largest living land mammal, and they come from tropical and subtropical regions of Africa and Asia. But this elephant in Boston didn't come with a birth certificate. Or if it did, no one knows where it is now. The elephant soon joins a menagerie in Boston where visitors can pay to see the animals.
As you might guess, this elephant is a draw. People are lining up to see her. For 4 years, that's her fate, until the giant pachyderm finds herself in a New York City cattle market. She's gentle and good-natured and even does a trick. She can uncork and chug a beer.
Wait a minute now. I do that all the time. No one cheers when I pop a beer and chug it.
Well, in fairness, the elephant performs this trick a lot less than you do, Jeff.
All right, fair enough.
This elephant catches the attention of a New York farmer who has big dreams. A farmer named Hekeliah Bailey. Bailey drops $1,000 for this elephant and names her Old Bet. Maybe because he's betting on enough people paying to see her so he can earn his money back.
Bailey takes Old Bet on a tour through New England, where he charges 25 cents to look at her. Old Bet is displayed in barns and behind taverns. Always a capitalist, Bailey walks Old Bet to the next town at night, so no one can get any free looks.
Now, it's not the greatest life for Old Bet and Bailey, but it's a living. Over the years, Bailey is making a handsome profit on his large investment.
I get it.
An investment that eats quite a lot of hay each day. One problem with a display like this is, at some point, folks in a particular town have seen the elephant. They're not going to pay again.
Sure.
So you have to keep the show moving.
It's now 1816, and Bailey is loading Old Bet along with a caged lion on a boat heading north to visit some Maine seaports. The ship sails as far north as Belfast, Maine. Then they travel on to Augusta, then to Lewiston, New Gloucester, and finally to the town of Alfred, Maine.
The thing about 1816 is it's the year without a summer. The frosts that usually stop around April and May are still happening in June and July. It even snowed a couple weeks ago. Crops aren't happening across the state. It's making life difficult for those who earn a living growing and selling food.
Here in Alfred, Maine, few have it as bad as Daniel Davis. Daniel and his brother mortgaged their farms recently in order to buy a sawmill. But then Daniel's brother died unexpectedly. And now Daniel's trying to take care of not just his family and farm, but his brothers as well. Given all the frost and all the debt, Daniel Davis is scared. He could lose everything.
Enter Old Bet, Hekeliah Bailey, and his traveling menagerie. It's a cold night considering it's mid-July, but there are groups making their way into town thinking about the next show, the local awaiting crowds, and getting some much-needed rest after their long walk. What they don't know is that just up ahead, Daniel Davis is hiding in some bushes. Just as Old Bet passes the bushes, Davis rushes out and fires twice. Right into Old Bet, just behind her shoulder. Old Bet cries out in pain, charges down the road to try to get away, but soon collapses. The elephant is dead.
The newspapers use the word murder to describe the heartless, cold-blooded act. The people of Alfred are appalled. Their small town will now forever be known as the town that killed New England's only elephant. Still, Hekeliah Bailey didn't get to where he is today by being a fool. He employs some local men to help remove the hide and bones from Old Bet, so he can bring them back home to New York and get them taxidermied into a full-scale elephant who can continue to tour, but never needs to be fed.
Meanwhile, in Alfred, Maine, Daniel Davis is arrested for killing the elephant. Davis only spends 3 days in jail, then pays his bond before he's free to go.
That hardly seems fair.
Right? But Davis is quoted as saying he didn't think it was right to charge the people 25 cents to see an elephant when some of those folks need the money more than Hekeliah Bailey. And that brings us back to today.
Hekeliah Bailey is credited with establishing one of the earliest circuses in the United States. Back in those early days, Bailey employed a young boy from Connecticut to sell tickets as they traveled through New England. That boy's name was P.T. Barnum, who no doubt was inspired to see the kinds of things people would pay money to see.
This stone monument was placed here in Alfred, Maine, July 24th, 1963, to commemorate the slaying of Old Bet, a dark day for America's first elephant.
So here's the thing. We're not totally positive Old Bet was the first elephant in America. In 1796, an elephant arrived in New York aboard a ship called America. The ship came from Calcutta. So there was an elephant in the country before Old Bet shows up in Boston in 1804. However, it's possible that elephant in New York is the same one who eventually came to Boston in 1804. So maybe there are two elephants, or maybe we're talking about the same one. It's kind of been lost to history. It's worth noting that elephants can live between 40 and 70 years in the wild, unless, of course, they're gunned down in cold blood.
As if elephants need another reminder to stay away from Maine, in 1836, a ship called the Royal Tar sank off the coast of Vinyl Haven.
Oh, right.
Carrying a menagerie of animals, including an elephant who drowned in the disaster. And if you remember, we explored this story back in episode 145 of this podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah?
So if you're an elephant, it's pretty much best to steer clear of Maine. Got it. Okay, I still can't believe Daniel Davis only got 3 days in jail and a fine for killing such a majestic animal.
Well, he also got his name dragged through the mud. At some point, Davis claimed it was religious reasons that he killed Old Bet, because he viewed it as sinful that people would spend money to see an animal. But in reality, it was most likely jealousy that this out-of-towner was coming here with a literal cash cow while Davis was struggling.
And today, there's this small stone marker commemorating where the murder took place. It's interesting that Daniel Davis's name is not on this plaque. On the one hand, it would be nice to shame him for as long as this stone stands, but on the other hand, his name kind of doesn't deserve to be mentioned. That's the struggle with any tragic legend. We want to honor the fallen and not celebrate the villains.
Well, that is the struggle. And of course, sometimes it's not always clear who the villains are. But we know who our friends are.
We do.
I'm talking, of course, about our Patreon patrons who spend $3 per month with us to get early access to new episodes, plus bonus episodes and content that no one else gets to hear. If you can help us continue to grow this community and movement, head over to patreon.com/New England Legends to sign up.
In my latest book, The Call of Kilimanjaro, Finding Hope Above the Clouds, is now available wherever books and ebooks are sold. I appreciate all the great feedback so far. I'm also giving a series of virtual talks on this book. You can find dates and links on our website.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Nuwadi Herbals, and our theme music is by John Judd.
Hello, this is Joy Holhup from Conway, Massachusetts. Until next time, remember, the bazaar is closer than you think.